everybody, welcome back to the chunkiest studios. This is Jordan. Today I have another emergency update on Hurricane Mellisa, as it has continued to intensify further into the Category 5 range and is expected to make a Category 5 landfall in Jamaica, which will be historic and is going to bring catastrophic impacts to Jamaica as well as portions of Southeast Cuba and portions of Haiti as well, and then it's going to bring significant impacts to portions of the southeastern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands. So in this video I'm going to talk about the forecast for Hurricane Mellisa, like how strong it will be and where it's going to be. I will also talk about the impacts of Hurricane Mellisa, as we may have some new updates on the impacts due to the system being a little stronger than it was originally forecast to be. And also I will talk about how you can prepare for these impacts, which we will also have a few updates on that. So anyways, let's get straight into this emergency update. First of all, I'm going to talk about the forecast for Hurricane Mellisa. Right now it's at 175 miles an hour with a pressure of 906 millibars. This is the strongest hurricane since Dorian in 2019 and the strongest hurricane in over 6 years. It's not expected to continue to intensify, but will actually gradually weaken before landfall to around 160 miles an hour, and it will weaken as it moves over the mountains of Jamaica before continuing to weaken as it moves towards Cuba and makes a second landfall there, and it will still be a hurricane as it moves through the Bahamas, and then eventually it will get up towards Bermuda as a hurricane as well. So anyways, let's get straight into the forecast. First of all, looking at the National Hurricane Center forecast, you can see that Mellisa is located pretty much just to the southwest of Jamaica now, and is expected to start turning north pretty soon. I think it's already started a northward turn. So anyways, let's get straight into the forecasts here. So right now it's 175 miles an hour and 906 millibars, so it's the strongest system by wind speed in over 6 years, but by pressure it's probably the strongest since 2017, or around 8 years. So this is a pretty historic system. Luckily it's going to weaken a little bit before landfall, as you can see here. So right now 150 knots or 175 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 185 knots, or like, what is that? Well over 200 miles an hour. So this thing has some pretty strong wind gusts and have catastrophic wind gusts, I should say. Luckily, it is going to weaken a little bit before landfall to around 145, 140 knots with wind gusts around 175 knots, or around 190, 195 miles an hour, which isn't going to make much difference really though. And you can see it weakens a little bit as it moves over Jamaica due to the mountainous regions. It's going to weaken to around 145 miles an hour, and it will continue to weaken as it moves towards and moves over Cuba. Eventually, as it's over the Bahamas, it will be around 85 knots or 100 miles an hour. And as it moves near Bermuda, it's likely going to be around 80 to 70 knots or around 90 to 80 miles an hour. But it could still bring some impacts there. Looking at our forecast cone, you can see here, right now it is located just to the southwest of Jamaica, expected to make landfall sometime tomorrow, likely sometime tomorrow morning between around 7 a.m. and like 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. I mean. And then we now have hurricane warnings for a lot of the Bahamas, especially the southeastern and eastern portions of Bahamas. And there is a tropical storm warning and hurricane watch for, I believe, that's the Turks and Caicos Islands. Rest of the warnings still remain the same. Tropical storm warning for all of Haiti. The hurricane watch has been discontinued. Hurricane warning for all of Jamaica, and we also have a hurricane warning for a large portion of southeastern Cuba. And I expect that by the time the system does around over Bahamas, we will have a tropical storm or hurricane watch out for Bermuda. Now looking at the satellite imagery, you can see Mellisa is very well organized. You can see this looks like a very strong system, and it is also moving very slowly. You can see it has a pretty much almost perfectly symmetrical eye, and the eye wall is also pretty symmetrical there. You can see we've had some pretty good cloud tops around that, and you can also see that we have some good outflow there, and we also have some good outer bands there, and there's going to be a lot of rain in Jamaica. As you see, there's been several bursts of rain over the past several hours in Jamaica there. Now we're going to look at some of the models here. Here's the HFSA. This started off at 910 millibars, so it's a little bit higher, but anyways, you can see it has a peak at around 900 millibars with a wind speed of 170 knots or about 109 miles an hour. I don't think it's going to get that strong. And then you can see as it makes landfall, it has it making landfall at 160 knots or around 185 miles an hour, which is a little high. And then as it makes landfall in Cuba, it has it being around 94 knots, 95 knots, which is about 110 miles an hour. Might be a little low there. And then you can see it moves off towards Bermuda there, bringing some hurricane force winds and some flooding there as well. Now we're going to look at the HMON. You can see this run initiated pretty high, 913 millibars, which is quite a bit higher than what we have currently, but you can see it gets all the way down to 897 millibars. I'm not running out a sub 900 system, but as of now, I don't know if it's gonna have time to strengthen that much. But it is really close to getting that strong, so it could. If you can see Category 5 just before landfall, as it moves inland, it weakens to around 100 knots there. Maybe a little dramatic. A lot of these models have trouble with landfalls and stuff. You can see just before it makes landfall in Cuba, it has a wind speed of around 100 knots, 150 miles an hour, which is more realistic. And then you can see as it moves off towards Bermuda, it brings some hurricane force winds there and some flooding as well. Now we're going to look at the Google DeepMind model. You can see, even though it has it being officially a Category 5 right now, it doesn't have a sting, but I think it's going to stay Category 5 all the way to near landfall here in Jamaica, and then as it gets up towards Cuba, it has it being a Category 3. The main part I disagree with on this model though is it has it strengthened a little bit to the east of the Bahamas. I don't think that's going to happen, but as it moves up towards Bermuda there, it has it weakening, and by the time it passes by Bermuda, it's only a low in Category 2, Category 1 hurricane there. I'm going to talk about the impacts that Mellisa is going to bring. So in Jamaica, the impacts are already starting in the form of flooding, and there's likely already some minor storm surge there. As it gets closer to Jamaica, it's going to bring some very significant storm surge of 10 to 15 feet, probably, as well as some rainfall of 30 to 40 inches in some areas, and it's also going to bring wind gusts up to like 190 to 200 miles an hour. If you have not already prepared, it's already too late to prepare there. In Cuba, your preparations need to be done by the end of today. You're going to see some catastrophic rainfall as well, up to 20 to 30 inches of rain there, as well as some wind gusts potentially reaching in the Category 4 range there as well. Maybe a little bit in the Category 5 range, but not too sure on that really. And also prepare for some storm surge up to 10 feet there. In the Bahamas, you also see some significant flooding. I would say up to like 12 to 16 inches of rain. Very not significant. Also, you can see some storm surge, I'd say up to like 7 or 8 feet. And also you're going to see some wind gusts up to like the Category 2, Category 3 range. So make sure you're prepared for those. In Bermuda, I would wait to prepare. Just make sure you have essentials like water, non-perishable foods there that do not need cooked. So now I'm going to talk about the impacts of Mellisa. First of all, we are going to look at the wind speed probabilities here. You can see here the tropical storm force wind speed probabilities. You can see Jamaica, southeastern Cuba, portions of the Bahamas are going to see tropical storm force winds. Portions of Haiti could see some tropical storm force winds, and areas farther west in Cuba. Could also see some Bermuda, like we're gonna see some eventually, but it's uncertain as of now if you're going to see tropical storm force winds within the next few days here. Look at our 50 knot wind speeds. You can see Jamaica, definitely western Jamaica gonna see some, southeastern Cuba like gonna see some, and portions of the southeast of Bahamas gonna see them. Bermuda, not too sure right now. You will likely see some eventually, but not too sure on the timing there. Event hurricane force wind speed probabilities. If this will load here. Just waiting for it to load real quick. Let me try this. There we go. Jamaica, west of Jamaica specifically, will likely see some. Portions of the southeastern Bahamas could see some. Portions of southeastern Cuba could see some. And Bermuda, not too sure on that right now. It depends on what happens over the next few days, if you see hurricane force winds or not. Now looking at the additional 3-day rainfall forecast. So this is just the additional 3 days. Some areas have already seen some rain. So in eastern Jamaica, you won't see as much rain, but you have already seen quite a bit of rain. So you're still going to get those totals up to like 30 or 40 inches. But mainly, central Jamaica could see up to 30 inches of additional rain, even though we've already seen some heavy rainfall over the last day or two. Portions of southern Haiti only going to see an additional up to a foot of rain most likely, which is still significant, but you have already seen quite a bit of rain and it should be ending over the next couple of days. Portions of southeastern Cuba could see up to 20 to 30 inches of rain, and they really haven't seen any rain, so this is just going to be the straight totals. And then portions of the Bahamas, you could see up to a foot of rain in some areas, most likely 6 to 12 inches of rain in quite a few areas. It could go up or down depending on what happens with storm over the next couple of days there. Look at the National Hurricane Center key messages in Jamaica. Is recommended to not go outside and stay in your storm shelter. This is going to be a historic storm. It's going to bring catastrophic winds and wind gusts. It's going to cause catastrophic damage, and there's going to be catastrophic flooding. There already has been some. And there's also going to be life-threatening storm surge, mainly along the southern coast. In Haiti, you're going to continue to see catastrophic flash flooding, and there's also going to be a lot of landslides. There's going to be significant damage across Haiti, not necessarily from winds, but from the flooding there. Eastern Cuba will likely see some catastrophic flooding there, and that's expected to start later today. There will also be some significant wind gusts, possibly catastrophic. Your preparations need to be done by the end of today. And also southeastern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, you will see some tropical storm to hurricane force winds, life-threatening storm surge, and significant flooding there as well. There will also be some significant storm surge, strong winds, and some significant flooding in the Turks and Caicos Islands as well. Now I am going to talk about what you can do to prepare for Mellisa. If you're in southeastern Cuba, your preparations need to be done by the end of today, as I've said multiple times throughout this video. Make sure you board up your windows and doors. Also make sure you're either underground or in a storm shelter. And once the flooding starts, after the hurricanes pass, make sure you're in a place where you aren't susceptible to flooding just in general. And also make sure if you're along the coast to get further inland so you don't have to deal with a storm surge. If you're in the southeastern Bahamas or the Turks and Caicos Islands, make sure you board up your doors and windows too. If you're in coastal areas, which a lot of you probably are, make sure you get farther inland, or at least a few miles inland there, just to make sure you aren't getting crashed by like big waves and significant storm surge there. Also prepare for some significant flooding there, up to a foot of rain to occur. If you're in Bermuda, hold on your preparations for now, but make sure you just have quite a bit of water and also some non-perishable foods that do not need to be cooked. and that's really all you need to do there right now. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel so YouTube will push this out to more people. Hopefully those people on like Jamaica, Cuba, the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and maybe even Bermuda hopefully see this video. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because YouTube will definitely push this out to more people, especially if you like this video. Also, don't forget to share with your friends and family, especially those in Jamaica, Cuba, the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and Bermuda, so that they know what's coming towards them and they know what they should do right now and how strong it's gonna be when it hits them. And also, do not forget to leave a comment down below, because number one, YouTube will push this out to more people if they see people are commenting on this, because they're gonna think people are actually enjoying this video. And also, it will help me decide if I should make more updates like this in the future, where I could do better, and what you guys think about all this. Goodbye.